let's get to the topic that I have been asked to speak today. What dreams are made of, and more importantly, to dream or not to dream. So let's talk about defining what a dream is. The most important thing, that I already mentioned is dreams are aspirations. They are desires that are not needed to be fulfilled immediately, because that would not qualify for a dream. Let me give you an example. You cannot say that I am dreaming of chicken tikka for dinner. You can say, I wish I can have chicken tikka for dinner, or chicken pizza, whatever it is. But if you say, I one day wish to eat at Nobu restaurant in London, that is a dream. Because that is unachievable at the current state which you're in. So dreams are not things that are immediately achievable. Dreams qualify under the category of those desires and aspirations and wishes that are seemingly impossible currently, but which you wish to fulfill in the near future. How should we dream? And why are dreams important? Dreams are important simply because they are our gateway to the possible future that we wish to live. Dreams are those engines that take us to the desired goal. But how does it happen? Because this is the mechanism of a dream. What happens when you dream? Dreams are not something having this desire or wish to probably see a film or probably, eat something special in the evening tonight. It is much bigger. It is aspiration. It is larger than life. So, why is it important to dream? Because with your dreams is connected your feelings and emotions of how you see yourself and how you value yourself. The more you dream, the more you desire, the more you create your reality, the more information is fed back to you about your own self-worth and how possibly did you make that impossible thing, I am possible. It is in a certain way validating the possibility of who you are and the value of who you are in some measures. So that is why it is important to dream and dream correctly. Because if you dream incorrectly, or you dream, there's nothing called an incorrect dream, but if your dreams are half-baked, then they won't happen in the near future. So what do I mean by dreaming succinctly, dreaming clearly? When you dream of a certain aspiration that you want in the near future, ensure that you sit back. Put yourself in a game room, when you're in a game room in a theater, all lights off. Make sure you're away from any distraction and zone into that dream. Zone into that dream and start visualizing the textures of your dream. Start imagining the people. Start that film. Start that film about what that dream is going to be. What's going to happen to you when you fulfill that dream? Who are the people around you? What does it smell like? What are the colors? What are you wearing in that dream? This is so important because the more creative, the more clearly visualized you are about your dream, the more stronger the possibility of the dream to actualize itself in the near future. Because this is connected to something called the power of the subconscious mind. When you dream something clearly, what happens is that your brain starts taking information. It starts also imagining those sensations. And it starts going into the subconscious layer. If you dream this enough, consistently, more than putting the efforts out there, even before you start putting your efforts into existence, if you dream consistently, that dream, very slowly, it seeps into your subconscious layer. It is nothing but like your phone apps that are running even though you're not using them. It's there in the background. They are there constantly using your energy. They are there constantly reminding you of the universe that you are always using. Every time you swipe your phone and press that button, you realize that those dreams are all there. They all keep coming back to you. It's like programming an alarm within yourself. And what happens when you have something that is so powerful? We all know the power of the subconscious mind. You slowly realize that you are a human being that has a certain vibration, and that vibration starts having a certain kind of a momentum because of that dream, and then it gravitates towards the universe where that dream can be fulfilled. And it also invites the universe of your dream closer to you. So what you are doing is, subconsciously, you're moving and gravitating towards your dream. And that is why it is so important to make sure you crystallize your dreams. And when I say crystallize, I'm not asking you to go out there and put work at it. That is the third step. But this is the most preliminary important step, to visualize that dream. Now that I look back at my life, I realize that a lot of the things that have actually happened to me had already been imagined in my head. When I was in college, when I used to study microbiobiochemistry, I should be thinking about microbiobiochemistry or, immediately going for giving my GMAT exam and traveling abroad. But no, what all I used to think that one day I'm sitting there latkofying at the train, trying to take that breeze because you're young and restless and reckless too. And, you're standing there in that train, going from Andheri to Churchgate, because I was studying in St. Xavier's College. And I remember I used to constantly be in my thoughts. I used to imagine that I'm getting an award for something that I've choreographed. I used to imagine that people are clapping. I used to imagine that, I'm getting clicked. I used to imagine the red carpet. I used to imagine all these things. Every time the train used to stop, and then people used to push me, so it's all hot. I was like, oh, okay, now I have to come back into my reality. And I'm not kidding you, and I'm not trying to be humorous. This is the truth. When I look back and I extrapolate some of the things that have happened to me in my life and understanding how it reached there, it is true. When I was reading The Power of the Subconscious Mind, I realized that this was actually happening unconsciously. I was doing that unconsciously. I didn't have the intelligence then to realize, ye sab karna hai. It was happening automatically to me because it was my strongest desire. It is a different thing that later on, exactly what I wanted, I realized that maybe this is not my dream because I was very close to it and I said I moved sideways and I went into television. But that's a different aspect. But what is important is, all this while when I was studying microbiobiochemistry, went into do hotel management, constantly in my head, the app was playing, the dream was playing. And slowly and clearly, I have to tell you this, things happened organically. I never had any inroads or, people whom I knew who were choreographers. I never assisted anybody in my life. And I wanted to become a choreographer, a film choreographer. But it just happened naturally. I was teaching fitness. I was teaching a lady who happened to be, the producer of Lagan. She also happened to be the ex-wife of Amir Khan. That's another question. Then his actual wife, his current wife then. And she said, would you kind of, just come in and, do this song? And I was like, okay, this is actually happening. So you never know, sometimes the universe starts taking you there. It's a longer process. I didn't consciously go out there. If I had to consciously go out there, maybe I would have gotten it faster and quicker. But hey, the subconscious mind worked. The power of the subconscious mind brought the universe into my life. When I finished my hotel management and graduation, I was really thinking that should I take this or that, but I chose dance. And you have to realize that all the jobs and the opportunities that came, they came knocking at my door. I was working towards it, but as the opportunities came, I went to it and I went to the paces and moved forward. So sometimes the power of the unconscious, subconscious mind is so powerful that it will take you where you need to go. Your rational mind is saying, come on, take that job. Take that, you've passed that interview, you've got a great salary going there. But somehow, illogically, you're going and gravitating towards something that you can't really see. And it may be the answer. However, if you just imagine things to happen, it may not happen. And that is why we go to step 3. Step 3 is asking yourself, why do you want this dream? I'll tell you why we need to ask ourselves this. We will run out of gas, we will run out of fuel. Because the why is connected to the fuel, is connected to the rocket fuel that keeps the engine going. Let me give you an example. It could be anything. In my life, I had certain people who were against me taking dance as a career. So it was a proving point कि मैं करके दिखाऊंगा. So the fuel was anger and angst. For somebody else, it could be, I just dream of this. It'll make me so happy. My reasons could be different. Somebody else's reasons could be different. It could be anger. It could be fueled by, a certain kind of an angst, a pain, or love. It doesn't matter. Whatever is the driving emotion, it needs to be identified, because that's going to be a rocket fuel for that dream to not die out. Because dreams can die a natural death. Disappointments will come. The final step is, how do I do this? Okay. I visualized it. I used all my senses. I can imagine myself doing this. I also know why I want to do this. But now, how do I make this happen? So we need to get into something called as pragmatism. What is pragmatism? Pragmatism is having your feet on the ground. When you're dreaming, it's all here. It's all cerebral. It's all in your head. Now, how do I come to the ground reality? What is the ground reality? Okay, how far is this journey? What are the processes? Do I have the intellect? Do I have the emotional intellect? Do I have the ability to stick on? Can I give up certain things in my life? Because it will require you to be very focused. It will require you to be super flexible. Because you might think that the path to go there is ta, 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 and this A plus B plus C, but it may not be that way. When you cross A, you come to B, you realize, oh, B has some challenges. You'll have to circumvent B and jump to D and come back to B and go back to C. It's not going to be, that simple or easy, no matter how you've imagined it. So learning to be flexible, and that is why I say life is not a 100-meter sprint or a marathon race. Neither. Life is a hurdle race. People who succeed are people who know how to learn to navigate a hurdle race. You know what is a hurdle race? Where every time you run a few, meters, you are encountered with a problem. The runner, the sprinter, never runs back. Have you seen him running back? He either ducks in, jumps over, kicks it. All is allowed as long as you move forward. You can take a U-turn, whatever it is, but you cannot go back. What I meant to say, you cannot take a U-turn, but you can circumvent it in whichever way possible. Does it make sense? So learning to also realize that whatever you perceived of your dream and the roadmap that you have placed will have to be flexible. Being focused is one thing, which is great, but learning to be flexible is very important. And I don't mean in the body, but in the mind. Yeah? Learning to be, again, falling in love with the process. Very important. Saying, I want this dream. I wish I have a car. It's not going to happen. Even if you creatively visualize it and say, I want that red Ferrari. Not going to happen, dude. Wake up. You've got to put your work to it. How are you going to achieve this? What is your modus operandi? What is the time limit are you setting yourself? Are you impatient and want it really the quick way? And is it really going to happen? Being realistic of your dreams is super important. Being pragmatic is super important. So this is the most important part of your dream space, where you put a process, and that is why it's very important. As much as you love your dream, you must love your process of achieving that dream. Because if you don't love the process, you will have problems with it all the time. You will complain, you will say why this is happening, and you will say, okay, you know what? Maybe I should not dream about this. You will give up going so close. And that is why I tell people that sometimes It's better that when you're dreaming, you dream it in such a way that you give yourself no choice. Stay focused and flexible, of course, but don't give yourself choice. You know what that means? Because when you have too many choices, you know what your mind does. It's lazy. It'll tell itself, छोड़ देना यार, कुछ और करते हैं यार. I'm going to give you today a definition which doesn't exist in on Google. And here is what I've written it down when I put it all together. Dreams are vivid, lucid desires and wants created by the waking, conscious mind that may seem unattainable at that point of time, but which we hope we will be able to fulfill in the future. So that's the definition of dreams in the sense of what we are talking today, not the dreams that we dream when we are asleep. Second, it is important to visualize your dream clearly and with detail, consistently too, till it reaches the subconscious mind. You have to dream and visualize it continuously for a long enough period of time for it to reach the subconscious critical filter of your brain. Because we all know that then it will become like an app that runs in the background without you putting too much energy into it. And you will then create the power of the subconscious mind, where the universe and the Shah Rukh Khan dialogue, you know that one? Puri Kainat one? Subconscious mind, same, but thoda different. Okay? The third thing, asking yourself why you want this dream is super important, because that is your rocket fuel. It's your rocket fuel. It's your trigger to want that dream badly enough to make sure that you don't lose track. So remember, why you want that dream is very important too. And the fourth one, to actualize that dream, you need to have a clear picture, a roadmap. Do you have the intellect? Do you have the tact? Do you have the patience? Do you love the process, or do you love only the dream? Super important. Most importantly, what is the price you're willing to pay for that dream? Are you willing to give up your social media? Are you willing to give up your favorite game on PSP because it takes 2 or 3 hours every day? Or are you investing that much of time and energy into other things and getting distracted? How much time are you willing to put into your dream? Either thinking about it or doing something about it is also very important. Most importantly, don't give yourself choices. Remember, no U-turn. You are going there. This way, that way, but you're going there. So with that, I leave you with just one phrase. If you have built castles in the air, all is not lost. Now get up and lay the foundations under them. I repeat, if you have dreamt of castles in the air, all is not lost. Now wake up and build the foundations under them. And with that, thank you, TEDx.